Brought to you by Wendy's. Let us bring the tailgate to you with delivery.
With Scott Satterfield at Louisville, we thought they had a massive rebuild on his hands, but the reality is, with the way that they run the football and the commitment to running the football, this team's going to be in a lot of football games, already sitting at 4-2, looking to get to a bowl game. I love this. It starts with Dwayne Ledford. He's the offensive coordinator, but he's an O-line guy at heart. And what you see out of this offensive line is them getting pushed. We're seeing hat on hat, guys attacking down the field. You get your wide receivers and your tight ends involved in the blocking game as well, and you're able to make plays. And then what we're going to see in the reverse angles, we're going to see that the quarterback run also allows them to hold defenders and create a little bit of extra space. When you look at the reverse angle, you're going to see right here, you get 41. And because his eyes are trained in on this quarterback and the possibility of that quarterback scooting out wide, he's not able to close down here and go make the play on Javian Hawkins. This is a great design in the run game to pull a defender without having to block that defender, and I think that really helps out Louisville. We're seeing them grind off the ball and go make plays. I think that's a huge positive for them, and then the quarterback run. I know Juwan Pass is out for the year. We've seen Mikael Cunningham come into the game. We've seen Evan Conley come into the game and go make plays, but the quarterback run being a part of your offense is something that's helped travel with him from Appalachian State. Chris Martin and I are going to get into this dynamic rushing attack and how it's going to keep Louisville competitive.
And a handoff. He actually keeps it. Now rushing. Here comes Conley. Conley for the end zone. Touchdown! Goodness gracious.
Last year, Louisville couldn't play dead, and this year they are 4-2, exceeding all expectations and going out and making big plays. Scott Satterfield is doing his thing. I've got Chris Martin here. We're going to get directly into this Louisville offense. Let's not waste any time, C-Mark. Let's get into it. Let's pull up this first play. When you watch this Louisville offense play, let's go through what the basis of the success is. It's zone running.
It's a zone blocking scheme up front, and typically you like to run zone with your offensive linemen when they're not as athletic. And so you get them in these reach blocks so that they can get the seals and get their athletes out in space. And we'll have a chance to look at it because this is great tape.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to see it.
Yeah, I love the window dressing of the motion in there that forces Wake Forest to move a little bit. But the reality is we're getting guys that make plays. We're seeing Javian Hawkins, redshirt freshman at the running back spot. And I love the fact, it's not just the cutback because he sees that he's outflanked up front. Mm-hmm. He sees the cutback, but look at the violence that he ends this run with.
Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting here is he gets to the second level, right? So he's not touched until he gets on a safety. That's exactly how you want it by plan design. Now, here at the end, when you got a safety in space, what running backs are taught to do is to freeze his feet.
Yes.
Meaning the safety, you got to freeze his feet. The safety kept his feet that time. That's the only way he was able to get him on the ground. But this is well designed. I mean, and just a great play by Hawkins to finish the run. And what was interesting on this play, if you look at the left side, here you got a defender. And literally, Felder, he's not going to make this play maybe 1 out of 10 times.
Not with that route.
Coming at that angle. And so now you're saying that this play has a 90% success rate, especially if he comes at that type of angle. So this is very schemed up. And again, it's knowing the personnel and great blocking up front.
And I think the other thing I really like about it is that it's a quick hitter. And that, to me, is something that we're not seeing enough of in college football because so many teams, are running these slow developing plays where you're trying to outsmart someone and put them in a compromising position instead of just getting there before the other team can. And we definitely want to point out right here, we got the tight end lined up in the backfield as a fullback. Mm-hmm. But I love the fact that you can get a 2-for-1 right here because he blocks him and then he's also able to stop that linebacker from scraping over the top.
Yeah, he gets a great seal block. And once you have the seal, then it's wide open and you're allowed to get on the next level. Remember, this is an offense that's now putting up just about 500 yards a game. So they're explosive no matter what the defense is. They like their personnel, and you can tell they're trying to get their athletes, their speed out in space.
Yeah, they're trying to create some space. And as we get to this next one, I really like what we're going to see out of Javian Hawkins. You look how many guys are in the box here, right? And listen, I am tagging that corner as in the box because he's sitting right there on your edge. And we saw him last play. Bad angle, not make a play. As we run this play, you're going to see Hawkins, again, do what he does so well. Let's just get him to make a play quickly, right? Let's go. And you talk about stopping his feet. He keeps those feet moving. Even on that little jump cut, he's able to keep those feet moving. And now you're playing to your athlete's strength.
Well, his right guard is getting absolutely annihilated. He gets pushed back, so he had no choice but to make that jump cut. What I love is those are the things that you can't teach, what Javian Hawkins can do there. You're getting a 2-by-1 set. If I'm the corner corner down at the bottom. I may even tighten this down a little bit more, try to force the action inside. But that's just an excellent individual effort by Hawkins. Again, nice scheme. Second down, you're in the red area. You got to be able to score there. That's a big play for Louisville.
Yeah, and again, this is all zone. It's all zone.
Yep.
We get a little window dressing here. We get zone left. Doesn't matter. I'm going with the cutback. A different running back in Hassan. A different running back, I believe, in Hassan Hall. But this is another opportunity for Louisville to go make a play. And I love that the window dressing right there moves the body around.
Mm-hmm.
You get somebody that's now worried about getting too wide. Then he fights to overcorrect to get back inside, as we see the safety do number 3. He overcorrects on coming down into the box to try to get back inside. And because he overcorrects, instead of letting that play just come to him, he's not square, he gets juked, and now we get a big play.
And your linebackers are obsolete. I mean, you look at it, and we're talking about making them defend every blade of grass. That's what you do with this offense. When you're coming downhill, you got running backs that are running with violence. And watch how quickly he gets to the second level. And then there's just a quick move, another bounce. But watch how he finishes. The physicality
Violence.
to put the stiff arm out. That's exactly what you want to see.
What do you think about these quarterbacks following behind him on this play? Because in my mind, that's a spot for your quarterback to get hit, but we're seeing teams do it.
Exactly right. You know, I would say just let him just tail off. There's no need to be in the hazard area, Michael. Just let him tail off. But you know why they do that is sometimes that plays with the eyes of the defenders. It holds them just a step longer because if I'm coming from the backside of that play, then I'm saying, well, maybe the quarterback may still have the ball, and so I got to slow play it. So they tell the quarterbacks, they're taught to do that, to play that out every single time. But you're right, you got to be careful when you're going in a hazard area.
Yeah, it looks like it looks a little bit like that fake to the QB power that we're looking at. Now we get into the pass game because they've worked so hard on that zone. They've worked so hard on running the football. We're seeing them have some benefits from the throwing game. As we roll this tape, you're going to get to see them throw. And I will say this, Louisville, 3 different quarterbacks, but all 3 guys have found some modicum of success because they've been able to make plays.
And what's the first thing I notice here? You're backed up. You're 1st and 10.
Yep.
Now this is a rundown.
Yes.
But you accept, so
Easy.
they come out and pass it. So now they're flipping the script. And this is to keep the defense off balance, keep them guessing. You have the receiver. He pushes up past the sticks, Seth Dawkins, and just as you're taught to do, he comes back, works back towards the quarterback so the defender cannot jump this route. And this is just well designed. And again, the smarts and wherewithal to call a pass play here when the defense is thinking this is going to be run all the way.
Yeah, this is a run down, especially with down and distance on the field. And now you get into the best down in all of college football, which is 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3. Now you can call anything in your playbook and go make a play. Dawkins is an absolute monster. He's going out there making plays. Obviously, we're going to get to Tutu Atwell in a little bit. But the big key that I love, look at this offensive line, showing that zone, that same zone.
Reach
you
blocks.
see look at that linebacker fly down hard in the box. And then obviously we're seeing the other linebacker we're seeing Stranad right here, not be able to get into his coverage zone because he sees that run action. He gets downhill. Now he's created a lot of space. It's not Stranad, it's number 12. Not getting out in space, not being able to be where he's supposed to be to eliminate that throw.
Let me show you a real subtle detail on this play at the end here. If you watch block, 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 get down, there he goes down. Look who's going to be helping him up.
Yep.
Look at these linemen
running,
hustling down the field. That's the key. That's how you have success in this offensive scheme.
Yeah, I love this. And then obviously we're going to get to Atwell. And this is a kid that's come on strong. I mean, he makes plays for them. When you roll this, you get an opportunity to see what he's able to do. We get more play action. We get a little bit more zone look. And then just the body control and the speed. This is one of the toughest things to cover. They're in that tight formation, so you know he's going wide. But because he has that speed, you cannot cover this route.
And not only that, but number 6, the defensive back there, takes himself out of the play. I mean, you watch his body position. The quarterback sees this, of course. Atwell sees it. Look how he squares himself up. He's killed. He is absolutely toast right off the start of the play just by his alignment and body position. Now, this is just an electrifying play by Atwell to get the ball in there. But that's, again, dialing up, winning with scheme. This is a choice route on here. But he goes, all right, if you're going to wall off the inside, I'm not going to force it. I'm just going to go on the out route.
Exactly.
I have the space there. I mean, I could go out there right now in these beat-up Nikes and score on that play if you're going to wall him off inside like that. So, again, good Good call down in the red area, even better finish by Atwell.
Yeah, that's a tremendous finish. I love the route. And again, you get that action. I mean, look at the offensive line. And we got to give those guys with Dwayne Ledford, who's coaching them up as well.
Yep.
You look at them, still same zone steps, but look at the way they stay behind the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
That's the discipline to stay behind the line of scrimmage, not risk that ineligible receiver down the field, and make sure that your quarterback is still protected so that you can get him the football.
And you mentioned the OC Ledford, and he is the offensive line tactician. I mean, This is a guy, he knows his offensive line has to play on a string. They're in lockstep. Look at that's beautiful. You love the rhythm and the tempo of that offensive line. That zone blocking scheme allows you to open up this offense. And you talk about run-pass balance. And Michael, this is a team, 200-plus yards on the ground, 200-plus yards in the air. Boom. That's how you keep a defense off balance, and that's how you win games.
Yeah, I love this, and I love what we're going to see as we wrap this play up. You see that, man, I love those two. The fullback or the slash H-back and the running back, both in cover, both in pass protection, just being able to pick up that end so that you give him a clear see-through to make sure that he can make this throw. I mean, I love seeing those guys understand where their threat is and that they can make that play. And then when we get to the last play, this is sort of the icing on the cake, right? Mm-hmm. This is that extra. This is Evan Conley, a guy that to enter the season, what is he, their third string quarterback? Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter. Because everything is cooking. Zone, no problem. We get a nice little cut right here, and I'm scooting to the house.
Yeah, and untouched. And going in that phase of the game, but that's where if you're the defensive player, you got to know your personnel. I mean, here you come, an athletic speed guy that comes in. They run this option scheme. He's going to see the crease, and he hits it. But they're following Atwell. Look, it's clear man-to-man. He chases Atwell across the field.
Yep.
And then that just opens up the run lane quarterback season. As you pointed out, Evan Conley, being a young player, he steps up to the moment and puts this thing in the end zone.
Yeah, I think the thing that I'm loving as I watch this is you get almost a true triple option look, right? You've got a give, and then he pulls and he's able to go. And because they're doing it not just out of the shotgun, but because they're doing it with tempo.
Yeah.
Because you're doing it off of emotion, it looks a lot different than what we see maybe out of Navy, what we used to see out of Georgia Tech. But this is the same principles, and if you're not going to be disciplined against some of that triple option look, you're going to be in trouble all day.
And it's a simple read for Conley because he sees the edge defender crash down hard. And once he does, he knows he's going to be one-on-one with a second-level player. We'll get a good look at it here. You're going to see right side of your screen just outflanking the tackle there. Watch. Boom. He goes in on the dive.
Gone.
It's one-on-one on a safety. I like my chances in space. Great job of making a house call. House music all night long.
Yeah, this is a great. I love this play because you get your zone up front look. You get the look that's been killing them for most of the night, right? That's a look that's been killing them most of the night. And then you get the motion. So you add a little window dressing onto it. And with that window dressing, you make it easier for your quarterback to see where his threat is. He pulls that football, he gets upfield, and ultimately he gets the touchdown that wins them the game.
And my coach at Northwestern used to always say, option football is assignment football. It's responsibility football. They're just waiting for one minor breakdown in a play, and then they exploit it. It makes you stay patient, but it also forces you as a defense to play with some discipline. And if you don't, breakdowns create breakthroughs, and that's exactly what we're seeing on this play.
I like the way you did that. All right, folks, this is it for Chris Martin. I'm Michael Felder. This is another episode of Tape Don't Lie.
Brought to you by Wendy's. Let us bring the tailgate to you with delivery.